Hi, my name's Nathan Bean with Bean Brothers Landscaping. Today we're out here in Lincolnton, North Carolina to tell you the story about a project we did over a year ago. And look how amazing it looks after 1 year. So we built out this project in phases, and so we did the drainage, we did the hardscape, we did the sod, we did the landscaping in the front, and then the landscaping on the hill. And one of the things that I remember too was you were like, hey, when it rains, there's like a river that runs around here.
We were standing here and we first moved in, and this was just, there was a pond right there.
We actually had to walk on the edge because it wouldn't dry out right here because of the shade from the house.
And I remember telling you we had put these two drainers in, and I said, you know what, let's go ahead and do a change order and put a third one in, because I don't want to have to deal with it. Yeah, because eventually when I have these houses built on each side, now you can get the trucks up here, and I don't have to worry about the lawn getting chewed up. But I've had no problems. It's working so well is that shortly after you had it all tied in and the house being built down the street, so much water came off of here and washed out his dirt road. Your team did a nice job too, being conscious that eventually there's going to be houses built on either side of me, so they made the drainage so it didn't go into there, so it's not a problem down the road. If I have neighbors, I'm going to have to deal with my water going, so it does go down my property line.
Well, and a lot of times that's what we'll get is you come out to a house and it's already a mess, whereas in this case we had a blank canvas right from the start.
Yeah.
And they'll have their drainage dumping on the sides or to the neighbor, and we're not plumbing it out to the lowest point, which is to the road for you guys. And then they don't want to affect their neighbors, but then they also don't want to spend the money to get it out and be a good neighbor too. So you have, the functionality or being a good neighbor or being a good steward of my funds. Yeah. So you got to weigh the benefits. But like I said, it goes back to the original thing. You said, hey, I want to do this once. I want to be done with it. And that way I don't have to fool with it again.
Yeah, your team did a good job communicating all that. So,
and I'm glad that we haven't had any major touch-ups or callbacks or anything like that as far as the drainage.
No, came out nice. And then after we did that was phase one, and then phase two was this beautiful patio that you created here. So.
And it's built out of the Teco Blue 60. It's a three-piece combo, and it is the gray smooth. And then we did the black onyx sailor course. And then over here we did the sitting wall with 3 courses and then the caps to match on top. But just to add a little craftsmanship to it, I told Doug, I said, I'm going to take and swivel this pattern to break it up a little bit and make it look like somebody just took their hand and just twisted this. And another little thing we did, we built this stand over here for his grill, but we also did the design to parallel with this. And then I believe whenever we got up here, we had some steps and the function wasn't right. We wanted to do some handrails, and we come in here and made it match the sitting wall, paired with, we mortared all this in so we don't have to come back in here, we don't have to worry about any loose pieces, and putting the foundational pieces for the rails too, because as you stated, you have older in-laws, older parents that come through, and we want to make sure that they can enjoy this area and still be safe.
Yeah, we get a lot of nice compliments in the backyard here. Actually, several of the neighbors have come by to look at what you've done back here, and I've passed on your name because they want to replicate very similar to what you did. So, and then we did all the sod.
Yes, we did do all the sod. I think it was around 26,000 square foot of sod. We took and got all the roots, all the rocks for the most part out of the soil from the new construction, leveled everything off, and then we also took and added topsoil in, compost, and then we installed the sod.
Probably one of the regrets, if I was to do it over again, I would have put in irrigation.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to have you guys come back next year and do irrigation for me.
Well, the irrigation part of it, even though this project has been done for a year, it looks like we just did it because of the maintenance and because of the watering. Good habits on both a turf management program or the watering is going to keep that lawn looking like this, which is, I think, one of the greatest things is it's lasted as long as it has with the least amount of weeds, fungus, or disease
Yeah.
And probably one of the nicest ones in the neighborhood, I'd say.
Yeah, I got lots of nice compliments on the lawn. And then the last phase that we did was the landscaping out front and then the landscaping up on the hill. And when you and I were collaborating, we were talking about, I wanted this hill to be done with. I don't want to have a lot of maintenance. I want it to look natural. I don't want to have to mulch every year, maybe once every 3 years, but also at the same time to help with you know, the water maintenance coming off the hill. So, and it's turned out beautiful.
Well, and two, the builder put a swell in here at y'all's request just to try to stop it. And even that swell didn't even divert a lot of the water, but we also took and put river rock in there to help from erosion and to try to keep any sediment from coming down into our drainage system, because that's the last thing that we want.
Yeah, but we're very happy with everything. From the very beginning, when I first met you, your communication, your professionalism, your team, the quality of work. I loved working with Chris and Jeremy and the crew. They're out here, they came like family. I'd come out here in the morning and say, you guys want some coffee, you need water, and they were just fantastic. So, and I would highly recommend you and your team to anybody that, you know, wants to do a landscaping project. And you also take care of my lawn and done a great job, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, thanks.
Thanks.
It's been a pleasure, Doug.